So if he shows up, he shows up.
He's in the Discord.
I know that bastard.
I see him.
I see him. All right. We are live. Ladies and gentlemen, the side quest for May 30th, brother. I was hoping you would all join us today, and you did. We're going to talk about video games. I am Dally Demovsky. Joining me is Sam the Pie Man Dixon.
I'm allergic to pie.
You said you're going to bring some, damn it.
Well, I I thought we were supposed to bring ideas about what's going to be at E3 or something like that. So I was just making sure I had all my bases covered. So I'm good. Hello.
Just giving you a heads up, all your bases belong.
Don't do it.
Another person. That lovely human being right there is Scratty Bones Aaron Kelly.
Hey, what's up, Internet?
What's up, Reddit?
Smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button.
It's been a snowstorm today. Is it windy out there?
Oh, it's, it's perks of living in Canada. 24/7 snow.
He's reporting from the vault, the Doomsday Vault.
I'm in here with all the seeds.
All of yours.
That's a real deep reference to the fact that there are Doomsday Vaults filled with seeds.
There's one main one, and then there's a bunch of others that are all over the place. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about today. Tom will hopefully be joining us at some point. That jerk. He, of course, says he's available, and he falls asleep after he gets home from whatever he's doing. So I'm sure he'll waddle in towards the end like he did last time. In the meantime, the three of us can chat about good stuff happening in games. We're going to start with a little bit about what we've been playing. So what have you been playing, Sam? We haven't heard from you in a couple weeks. What have you been playing?
I think the same stuff. I'm pretty sure that I was playing the last time. I have beaten Trailblazers and Omnisite.
Oh, okay.
And there will hopefully be videos. I don't want to call them reviews. There will be videos on the site, hopefully before I leave on Wednesday.
Okay.
For E3. Both of those games found new ways to disappoint me since the last time. So Trailblazers, continuing. There's nobody playing that online. So if you're gonna play locally, you're gonna play locally. You're gonna play locally for probably about 2 or 3 matches until people decide that there are plenty other local racing games that are better than it to try out. Man, just even the campaign of that game, like I mentioned the last time about there's missions that kind of like go out of their way to make things difficult for you.
Sure.
So I brought an example of that with me today because I was so bad at mentioning it last time. So in one of the later races, all the characters and classes are different. But this character, he's like made for top speed, not made for painting, not made for like speeding people up in that game. And you're given missions that are like attack 5 people, finish every lap of the race in first place, and then something else. The other mission doesn't matter. So to finish every lap in first place, you need your teammates to be doing well. That game auto-generates tracks, and it also auto-generates what type of characters populate every race. So it's almost like if you've ever played Candy Crush or something like that, where you might start a level and you're already guaranteed to lose that level because the game's decided that role you'll be losing. So there you have that to begin with. Then you have the idea of needing to be in first every lap. Well, even if you're in first for 3 out of the 5 laps or whatever, you're not going to get the star that allows you to move on to the next thing. So when both of your first 2 objectives are to be in first place and to win the race, the third objective is then to get like 5 different attacks off on people. If you want to do that and still be in the front of the race, you have to plan on coming up on lap traffic to guarantee that you're going to be able to do that. But some of these courses are so big that you're not going to be able to come up on somebody to make that happen. So the only way to ensure that you get all 5 attacks is to purposely do bad and be behind other people to make sure you get those attacks. But then you can't get into first place, and then you can't get the star to pass, making it impossible to do it all in one run, technically making it impossible to pass certain missions until you spam it enough to get a good dice roll Don't buy Trailblazers.
I love it. Don't buy Trailblazers.
Go buy another racing game. Go find a GameCube and buy Double Dash. I'm sure it's around the same price. Yeah, I turned a real corner on that, and that video is not going to be nice to that game. I don't think.
I'm actually looking forward to it. We've had a couple stinkers on the site review wise, and it's just that it's just is what it is. There was a big I don't want to say controversy, but there's a lot of discussion this week or the last week or so about when reviewing games and how we should maybe take into account all the stuff that the developers have to go through to put this game out, and sometimes developers have to get their vision changed and chopped, and funding changes. So we need to understand it. No, we review as reviewers and critics. We review the final product. That's the only legit way we can do it. Because
the purchasable product.
Because
I do look at a lot of early access stuff, and when I look at it, it can change wildly to when it's out, and I might not look at it again.
Yeah, so the purchasable product. Otherwise, you just do an early impressions, which you did.
Well,
so people don't understand that, and they get offended. But this game just sounds like hot garbage, and we're getting a bunch of hot garbage. And no offense to the developers, but all the offense to the developers in a way, because this is what they have to show for their work.
Well, and Trailblazers, I'd love to say if there was like an online community and people to play with that you could develop a following and stuff like that. But there is literally, I've sat in queues for over an hour with just my computer running or on both cross-platform play and just PC play, trying to get anybody, and literally no one to play online. And I've played a couple of split screen matches, but even then, all the people I played with, they're like, this is fun, but why would we play this over Mario Kart or something like that? And I can't give them an answer, because there's nothing really that gives you anything to latch onto. The characters are unique, and they all feel different. And it's cool to pair some of those together. There's clearly some cars that are meant to be paired together, but if I'm going to have somebody over and they're only going to want to play 2 matches every month, they're not going to be able to identify what characters and stuff like that. So I don't know. Good concept, not great execution, I guess. Omnisite is a different story, though. That game is enjoyable.
Tell me about this, because they were pushing this quite a bit over at PAX East.
Yeah. I think that the guys at Spearhead Montreal is a great studio. I think they have really good ideas, and I think they can make very impressive, tight 5 to 20 minutes of entertainment. And Omnisite exploits that in a great way, I think. It allows you to replay the same levels, see the same characters, but experience different stories and different events with these characters. And to even see the worlds kind of change, once the corruption starts taking over a little bit more, these worlds get a little bit edited. But that game is spent entirely on a narrative device that then at the end doesn't have any form of payment. I'm not going to spoil the ending to this game, but halfway it's predictable, and then they do something and you're like, oh, maybe this game isn't as predictable, and then it gets to the end and nothing good happens. Everybody you've been rooting for and everything is still negative. Yeah, you've achieved your goal, but the ending is still negative, and that's fine. But it also all these characters that you're oh, they have these identities, and you really want to see them succeed, and then to go through what movie is that where the end credits where it just goes and it goes through still shots of the person and tells you what they're up to. Now it basically does that, and might as well will end with, and they all got cancer and died. It's effectively what it is. It's not a single one of those outcomes are good. And I almost question if Omen say it's this weird half step until their next game. And the only reason I give any credibility to that thought is the day after. I'm gonna have to I have to find the Twitter timestamps to make this correct. Mm-hmm. But the day after the game came out, they posted somebody's screenshots of the game. That 2 out of the 4 screenshots were very serious spoilers to that game. And one of which was, I would say, within the last 20 minutes of the game.
Oh my God.
And
Oops.
it was like the day after the game came out. Here we go. This tweet was sent on May 24th. When did this game come out?
There's radio silence until Sam finds the actual.
I know you. This is great radio. I should have had this ready. I should have had this sting piece ready. So the game came out.
Come on, Vice, you can do this.
Yeah. The game came out May 15th. So okay, it was like a week or so afterwards. But still, like a week after your game comes out, you shouldn't be posting game-ending spoilers to your Twitter feed.
Oh, jeez.
But I think it's an okay game, but it gets very repetitive, and what the crux of what the game relies on starts to show its weakness towards the end. And any sort of mystery, I don't know who to talk to next and I don't know where to investigate, kind of dies halfway. Mm-hmm. It becomes obvious what your next step is. Also, just one more thing. We've all played open world games and other games where you've gotten to a point where the game went, hey, from this moment on, you're not going to be able to access anything you were just able to access. And if you want to get something done or you want to see something, go back and do it now, because no time after this. We're going to end game after this. Mm-hmm. So Omen's Sight has that, which I was like, okay, I appreciate you telling me that. But I don't think there's anything I need to go back and see. I know who did it, or I know what the mystery is. Let's go to the end of the game. So it struck me afterwards that I might want to see the sort of dead ends, because you can still find out information from people that's kind of not relevant to what your actual end goal is. So you might want to go back and see one of those dead ends and get a little bit more backstory on one of the characters you liked. Not that it matters, because they're all going to die of cancer at the end anyway. That game saves after that point. So you can't, if I loaded that game file and it did not load me back to before that moment, it loaded me to after, which games save usually at that point where it's okay, anything after this, you're going to have to start from here, or your next save after this is going to be stuck in this zone. But this one just saved me after. Again, not that I wanted to go back, but even if you wanted to, you couldn't. You'd have to restart the whole game. And that makes no sense to me. From a game that's supposed to be about its narrative, if you're going to cut its narrative off from me at the end when I should be wanting to know the most about its narrative, yeah, I don't know. Choices, man.
Choices, man. Okay. Anything else you've been that's been kicking you around?
I mean, I've been playing Fortnite like a sucker, like everybody else in the year 2018. And that's going okay. I enjoy being able to play on my PC and play with all my console friends from whichever console they hail from, just not at the same time.
Yeah. You use that shopping cart yet?
No, I haven't. I played I played one of the Save the World missions earlier today, but I don't. It's just sitting in front of my computer right now is killing me. I could feel the heat off this screen.
You should do what I do whenever we record these shows. I'm playing shit right now.
Play stuff right so you can talk about it.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to just say podcast naked, because I am doing that.
Yeah, that's why the camera's turned off.
That's why the camera's
I don't have a desktop camera anymore. I need to get one of those IP cameras set up with my old phone or something.
What happened to your camera? What did you do?
Oh, no, I used to broadcast off of a MacBook Pro that had a built-in camera. And then now I'm on my desktop, and I've never owned a webcam. I'm sure I can dig up my old iToy somewhere and use that.
Yeah, you can probably plug that in. Yep. Well, I'll talk about what I've been playing, because it's not a whole lot different than last week. Runner 3, I finally completed that game, at least the main kind of mission part. So again, it was this free runner. It's the sequel to Runner 2. It's a rhythm platformer. And in my review, I noted how the difficulty ramps up really quick. And it's not the kind of game that you go into lightly, because I think what I figured was that or realized it functions a lot more like a platformer this time around than a rhythm platformer. Runner 2, you could kind of get through levels with your eyes closed just by listening to the music. You'd know how to do the moves that way, but you can't really do that with Runner 3. Runner 3 forces you to be more aware of what's happening with the environment and the levels and things like that. So it plays more like a traditional endless runner platformer rather than a rhythm runner. But that doesn't mean it's bad. It's just it becomes a little bit more difficult or more challenging early on. So finish that. I have been playing surprisingly, and we'll get to why later on. But what was the Fallout game for? Was Fallout Vault something or other?
Fallout Shelter?
Yeah, Fallout Shelter. Thank you. I've been playing that a little bit on my phone just to get back in and get myself into Fallout again. The FIFA expansion for World Cup, just supporting my team going all the way through. So it's just FIFA on the Switch, which isn't the greatest version, but it's there. And I've also been playing this garbage game called let me make sure I say it right. It's called It's Spring Again, and it's on the Switch, and it's aimed at kids, like 1-year-old kids, and they're supposed to tap on the screen, and it's still a story type of app, but I saw it for $1.99, so I decided to pick it up because I have disposable income. It's so bad. Like, my poor daughter is trying to tap on the screen, and it really is just an animated storybook. But if you tap on different areas of the screen, different animals will kind of react to it. And the kind of hit detection, the tap detection is way off. We spent like 10 minutes just tapping on the screen to get like a chipmunk to do something or a grass to grow. I can't even remember what it was. And it's just badly designed. So I don't know why I bought it. I think I bought it because it was cheap and I needed something else to fill up my Switch. There's this weird thing that people are doing that I've noticed online. A couple of people post about it. That's to get the Switch icons going, like an icon collection. Some folks want to have icons for every Switch game that's been released on their Switch dashboard. And that involves either buying shitty games or renting games, popping them in there, and having the graphic install pop up. So I think I'm starting to become one of those types of folks. So you guys heard about that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the first time was like today or yesterday that I heard about it. So.
What is it exactly? Like, people just want their screens completely filled?
They want their screen. They want to have that screenshot. So I'll hold it up right here. So you know how the Switch has the icons across, and if you go into the all software mode, you get all those icons. Well, some folks want to have every icon for every game on their Switch for some reason. It's like this weird collector's thing. So that
I remember it was.
That includes demos and things like that too.
I think it was Snake Pass that people were really pissed off that they changed the logo away from like something else, and it's like, oh, it looks like a mobile game now. It's like, well, it's on your Switch, so
yep. So that's what I've been playing, and also finally I went back into Dragon Quest Builders a little bit, and it's okay. I just want to get through it at this point, so I've been trying to cut corners as best as I can and using facts. And God of War. How about you, Aaron? What have you been playing? Aaron?
Can I hijack this just real quick before Aaron starts? I forgot a lovely Taiwanese company named Brooks. You might know them from their colorful chameleon logo. Contacted me and sent me over 2 of their products to try out.
Interesting.
Yeah, the first one's pretty straightforward, and it is a GameCube to Switch controller adapter. It just plugs into your Switch, the USB thing, and then allows you to use GameCube controllers like Pro controllers on.
Oh, that's cool.
On the Switch, yeah. So they market it for like Mario Kart. I guess Super Bomberman R has an 8-player mode that you can play.
Yes.
You can plug in 2 of these things, and so you can have 8 controllers or just 1 and 4 Joy-Cons or whatever. So yeah, and they're also saying that they'll make sure that it's going to work for Smash Brothers when it comes out. I assume Nintendo will probably have their own such product. And then also the more exciting one they sent me is this thing called the X1 adapter, and it's this adapter that plugs into the top of the Xbox normal Xbox One controller. S Elite doesn't matter as long as it's just the normal straightforward controllers with their standard battery ports. Plugs into that. Works as a battery for the Xbox One controller and allows you to connect it wirelessly to a Switch and a PS4.
What?
So you can use your Xbox One controller on your Switch and your PS4 as pro controllers for those respective systems, including tilt controls. It can't do the NFC reading that a pro controller can do on the Switch, obviously.
Interesting.
But yeah, so if you wanted to play Splatoon with tilt controls, still available using this Xbox One controller adapter. And then on PlayStation, it just uses the left start button, and I believe you hit left and right on the right thumbstick for which side of the touchpad you want it to activate, since there isn't a touchpad on the Xbox One controller. But I've been playing with it, and as far as I noticed, there's no lag. There's no there's no buffer in between. It reads inputs exactly the same as a normal standard controller would on those systems. I've had no luck trying to get it to wake up a Switch. If the Switch is asleep, you got to wake it up with another controller and then use this one to connect to it. But it starts up my PS4 just fine. But yeah, there's like a button combination you hit to like launch it into its respective modes. I have it plugged in my PC now, still, and use it like a normal controller, like that. And yeah, it's nice. I mean, my big complaint has always been on PlayStation that those thumbstick setups on the DualShock 4 in comparison to Xbox controller sucks. But that solves that issue. Only downside so far is the vibration in an Xbox One controller is way stronger than there is in the PS4. And you can only turn it on and off on Sony's console, but on Xbox you can adjust strength. And when you're just holding down on a gun in Fortnite using that controller, it shakes the thing near to death. But other than that, I think it's great. If you have that problem, I think it's a $50 adapter, goes straight in your battery port, works for any Xbox One controller that's from Microsoft. So yeah, and you can even plug your headsets into the bottom if it's one of the updated S controllers. So works perfect.
That's pretty wild that they're able to achieve all of that with this adapter.
Yeah, I want to. They did a Kickstarter, but I would assume it has to have whatever sensor is in there for the Switch and the PS4 controller.
Sure.
I would have, I don't know, but it has to be built in there somewhere. It doesn't just learn it. Battery life kind of sucks. It's only about 3 hours, depending on what you're doing. So it's more of like a backup controller, or if you're like, oh, I'm about to play some serious Fortnite on my PlayStation, like better get out the good controller. Like it's for that, but
Sure.
I mean, you can plug it in while you're playing too. But yeah, love it.
There's a company called All Controller that's making something called the All Controller, and it kind of looks like a hybrid between a PS4 and an Xbox One controller. It even has a little like LED screen or LCD screen at the top to let you switch between different controller configurations. You can go from Xbox to PS4 to Android to iOS, Windows, Switch, and it lets you play across all these because it just connects Bluetooth wise. And I don't. It was supposed to release like 2 years ago or something, or last year. It still has not released, but it kind of sounds like a little bit of what you're talking about. So that's kind of interesting. Cool. All right. Well, you said it's about $50 for this adapter.
Yeah, it's about $50. They have some other like adapters. Those are just the two things they sent my way. But they have other adapters, like if you want to plug 360 controllers into an Xbox One, or an Xbox One and 360 controllers into a Switch, or they have all types of stuff. Yeah, Brook Accessories is their name, and they have a very shiny chameleon as their logo.
All right. Very cool. The shiny chameleon. Okay. Over to you, Aaron.
Yeah. I played a little bit more of Worlds Adrift, and then my character got deleted. They have
what?
They have a
Wait,
bug.
what?
They have a bug on the main menu right now where you select your characters and then you hit a confirm, like the enter button, and it's right beside the delete button. And the delete button, when you have it, I tested this after it happened. It has a confirm dialogue, but they have a bug where something apparently every now and again the confirm dialogue either doesn't show up or just auto accepts on that one click. So it just never pops and then immediately says, yeah, I'm confirming. And so I accidentally clicked the delete button instead of the confirm button for the entering the server I play on. And my character's vanished.
Oh my gosh.
And so I jumped into the tech support on, they have a Discord server, and I said, hey, my character just deleted. I'm sure there was no confirmed dialogue. I just tested it. There is a confirmed dialogue. Is there any way you guys can restore it? I don't know what happened. And they said, no, not right now. But having said that, they're still in they're still at a phase where once it releases from early access, I think they're going to do a full server wipe and everybody will start over. So I'm at this point, I'm not going to play it again until
it's fixed.
Because I lost a lot of progress. I put a lot of time into that game inside a very short amount. It sucks, but I mean, like, now they know about it. So it happened to somebody else. Apparently somebody on Reddit had made a thread and were very upset about it. And I'm just like, well, I mean, shit happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing another early access game called Raft. And,
okay. I've actually heard about this one too.
Yeah. Okay. So what Raft is you're on a raft and it's like, I think it starts off and it's a 3x3 square and you're just like standing on it. And there's a shark that constantly follows you around and you're just kind of floating through the ocean. And I guess this is like a post-global warming thing where everything's melted. And so it's just a planet of water. And you have to collect trash. There's like different types of trash. There's like plastic and rope and palm leaves and wood, like wood scraps, stuff like that. And you have to collect it all. You got this little plastic hook and you cast it out into the water and collect it. And then you have to build stuff. So you build like a sail and you build like a grill and you build like a water purifier and you build like more pieces to expand your raft out. And it's just like a survival game basically. And there's a shark that's constantly following you, and every so often, probably I would say every 5 minutes or so, it attacks the raft. If you jump in the water, fall in the water, it comes right at you and attacks you. It's super early, like it's functional, but outside of that basic loop, that's all there is to it. Occasionally you'll see an island and you navigate toward the island. Then there's like some fruit and like maybe some trees, and then you cut them down and get all the fruit, and then you get back in your raft and keep going. But the reason it's fun is because it's got really functional multiplayer in it. So it's like somebody starts up a world and it's just them floating on a raft, and then it's open to multiplayer, and then all of a sudden everybody can just join into it. So the other day, one of the servers I play a lot of games with, somebody started up a raft and then everybody jumped in on it. So it's a 3x3 square and there's like 8 people standing on it. And it's like, shit, we got to get some stuff real quick because we're falling off the raft. There's nowhere for anybody to walk. People are trying to get trash and everybody's like jumping in the way and like diving out into the water and like facing the shark to steal the trash from other people. And just, it was stupid, but it was really fun. So I played a bit of that. And I started playing Rainbow Six Siege.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. 2015's hot new.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah. No, I picked it up on a whim because the same group of people, they still play it and they stream it and stuff like that. And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to get into it finally. It's pretty fun. Mechanically, it's super easy to pick up because even if you don't know what all the different operators do, that's like the different characters they have. Like they've all got like a special ability or whatever. Even if you don't know what their special ability does, 90% of that game is positioning and just shooting your guns. So you can still play it even if you're not exactly sure what your special ability situationally can do for you. And then the big part of the game, aside from learning what the characters do, is you just learn the maps. But other than that, it's just a really fun shooter. Like it's best of 3. Every match I think is best of 3, and it's any given round in a match can be as long as like 5 minutes and as short as like 30 seconds.
It's a game that has some pretty incredible longevity because and Ubisoft does a fantastic job with this and Division, and Even the
For
crew,
Honor.
For Honor and the crew, they all have really kind of lively communities right now.
Yeah, that seems to be Ubisoft's thing now, where they're just like, well, I mean, it's the whole games as a service thing, right?
Yeah.
No. So these guys, they what I think is really clever. I was looking through when I was trying to decide what version to get this game to buy. There's a starter edition version where you get to play the game, and like you're in, and when you're getting rewards at the end of the match, like the in-game currency and stuff, I guess you gain experience slower and you gain less currency, but it's only like $20 or something like that, or $15 or something like that. Or there's the standard edition, which you just buy the game and then you play it and you get stuff normally. Or there's like the gold edition, which gets you the season pass, and it's in season 3 right now, and you get bonus experience, and I think you get like a little bit of like real money currency and stuff like that. Or you get the deluxe edition, which gets you all of the season 3 operators and all of the season 2 operators. Or then you get the ultimate edition, which gets you all of the previous season's operators and everything included in the other editions or whatever. So they've got like 6 different tiers of this game. And then on top of that, all of their microtransactions are, cosmetic, and you know how people love their cosmetic microtransactions.
Yeah.
You either unlock operators or you unlock costumes for those operators. So it's like everybody's running around with like clown masks and like weapon skins. But yeah, no, gameplay wise, because I don't really care about the microtransaction side of things. Like whatever, I'll just play whoever. I have 2 characters. I play 2 characters. It's fine. But yeah, no, it's really fun. It's really fun. It's super weird to me that because I'm not a Twitch shooter kind of guy. Like I don't really go in for the blops. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I think this is more comparable to that than it would be to Battlefield, which was always my game. So it's just...
Sam, were you more of a blops guy or a Call of Duty guy, I guess?
No, I've always been traditionally a Battlefield guy myself too. It was just when the original Battlefield was hot. That's when we all had like PC gamers as kids. Like we were all playing the original StarCraft and stuff like that. So we always grew up on that. And then when consoles came around, like I remember getting into Call of Duty 2, I think it was for 360, whichever the launch one was.
Yeah, that was the launch one. Yep.
That was good, and I mean all the Modern Warfares when they took off. But no, I've always been nowadays I'm an Overwatch guy, but I was Halo before all else back in the day.
That was your Bay. Halo.
Yeah. And now, hey, Halo 6. If you come into PC, I'll see you there. But no, nowadays it's mostly Overwatch. But out of like what has been announced, I guess, this generation, the Battlefield games have been more interesting to me. I think that trailer for V looks really cool, and I know that's not the messaging or the conversation around it right now, but I think that game's going to be rad.
I think I said it last week. I think that trailer got me interested in Battlefield again.
Yeah,
like I haven't really gone in on a Battlefield since Bad Company 2, and I'm ready to believe again. I'm ready to love again.
I think Titanfall is awesome also.
Titanfall is fantastic. Even the first Titanfall was really good, although it was only online, but I'm very tempted to repurchase Titanfall 2 again because of how great that game was. Such an underappreciated game by EA. That was one that they should have pushed. But no, they chose Battlefield instead, and they sent Titanfall out to die because of it.
This is going to be another weird year for shooters too, because I don't think that a lot of publishers understand like what sort of players Red Dead's going to steal from people. I think the Red Dead's going to be the test of whether Fortnite has longer legs in it for more than a year, of how bad of an impact does Red Dead make in that community. Because it's going before Blops, it's going before Battlefield and all that stuff. I'm pretty sure. As long as the dates that we know continue to be the dates we know. I think Red Dead's going to make a large dent in that shooter population for everybody this year. So everybody trying their hands at all these BR modes might end up like sort of cannibalizing their own audiences. But we'll see. I don't know. It should be a weird year for shooters, and watch Nintendo will release something between Splatoon and ARMS that's going to be a shooter that everybody's going to be like, this is so good.
ARM tunes. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a new Gears coming out.
Yeah. So what's happened is everything that was in the Walmart thing, the Walmart leak has come to fruition, including even the latest one, which was the Sonic racing game. But the DC Villains was just announced today, so it's kind of crazy. We'll get into that a little bit later. But okay, so Siege and Blops and Call of Duty Battlefield 5. Good deal. We'll see Blops and Battlefield at E3 this year. But let's get on to a little bit of news before we go further. So go ahead. What?
I was going to say, segueing off the seeing.
Let's segue.
Now that we're in the news, I'll just throw this out there. The Fractured Lands closed beta signups are happening right now. I signed up about 2 hours ago, and about 1 hour, 59 minutes, and 30 seconds ago, I received an email saying that I had gotten into the closed beta, which is running across E3 weekend.
Dope.
And they're showing it at the show floor, and it is a Mad Max style battle royale game.
Oh, cool. Battle royale. That might be I think it might be a thing.
Yeah, so I'm just throwing it out there. I think showing it at E3 counts as towards my prediction.
What's that game called? And you just
it's called Fractured Lands.
I'm gonna have to go through our list again and check off everything that Aaron got right.
I'm gonna get it all right.
He may have won E3 already.
Technically, I was right about them announcing a new Halo game. I just didn't predict it would be an arcade game.
That's true. That's true. Mine are probably all completely off. I'll have to re-listen to the thing. So speaking of game announcement, it has been a wild week over the last week. Obviously, we spoke last time about Battlefield V or 5, and since then we've had a bajillion announcements. We got a date for Mega Man 11, which is October. Any of you guys interested in Mega Man 11?
Meh.
Nah. Meh.
Resounding meh.
Mega Man.
I haven't really played a Mega Man since like 3.
Okay.
Like the original 3. Like
I think X was my last go-to Mega Man game.
I'm so excited for the X collection because that's something that I'm really looking forward to. Aaron is slowly disappearing because he's doing swapping laundry loads. The one other thing is that was announced this week was Killer 7 is coming to Steam as a sort of reissue.
Did they announce if people are just getting like an updated version of that game? Because I'm pretty sure I own Killer 7 on Steam already.
Do you really? I didn't even know it was on Steam.
I think it was a Humble giveaway at some point.
Don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's a brand new one or if it's just that version or an updated version. Although all I know is that it's been their wording was basically that it's been updated for modern standards, so like up-resed a little bit.
I'm pretty sure the PC version the last time I widescreen support. So we'll have to see. I'm pretty sure it's on PC.
I didn't know it was. I thought it was always PS2 and GameCube.
Unless I was emulating it. Ooh, looking at Killer is Dead.
That's what you were. Which, by the way, is also a Suda51 game.
Now, Killer 7, I'm pretty sure I was playing on an emulator. So there you go.
That was what it was.
Yeah.
So yeah, that game was announced. Just Shapes and Beats arrives probably for the folks that are listening to this, might be today, tomorrow, May 31st, on the Switch and PC, which is pretty crazy because we've been
excited.
Yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to that because we've seen it for 4 years now, 3 or 4 years now. Mm-hmm. So we're it's about time. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Mike and team over there. We've been waiting for this. You finally get it. Actually, this is cool. It's great news. It's been fun. I played it again at PAX East this past year, and it was a lot of fun. So
we can finally be honest with them and tell them it's terrible.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I have yet to have a bad experience centered around that game. Even it's not even my game, but watching that game run at Nintendo's booth this year warmed my heart just a little bit.
Wasn't it kind of like a little that was like I think it's because they won our Team Choice Award. Like the first year we had Team Choice Awards, and then we would have given it to them again, but we legitimately couldn't because you don't give the the yearly award. Although we did joke about having a yearly Just Shapes and Beats award. Because I think we'll have to do that.
I think if there's ever a game that we want to give an award to twice, we just give another award called the Just Shapes and Beats Award, and it just goes to them.
Let's do it. Yeah, and we might end up doing that. But yeah, that game launches. I think you said it right when and we haven't reviewed it yet or anything. We don't even have a code coming in. Not that I know of, but it's I never had a bad experience playing with other people with that game, and I think that's probably the best way to sum it up because it's fantastic on a show floor. And I'm really excited to play it with people in my house. I think that's the next one. I'm going through here. There were, before I get to the kind of the two big games, there were a bunch of delays into 2019. Yakuza 6, which Shenmue 3, which nobody believes Shenmue 3 is going to make it make it out in 2017. Remember 2017 they were going to launch? So yeah, now it's
remember everybody ever believed that game was ever going to come out before 2020.
Right? Nobody. Oh my god, I can't believe that.
What do you think comes out first, Final Fantasy VII Remastered or Shenmue 3?
7 Remastered, and that's never coming out.
No, I think so. I think 7 Remastered Part 1 comes out, is met with negative reaction, and then they retool Part 2 for 2.5 decades.
Yep. And they release it as a retool of Part 1 and Part 2, and that's it.
And it's a battle royale game.
Yeah. And all this happens before Days Gone comes out.
Before Days Gone comes out, yeah, exactly. Because they're not even using Days Gone as one of their 4 kind of feature games at E3 on the stage.
That game doesn't exist. That game is a collective unconsciousness, I believe.
I'm surprised that game wasn't delayed in 2019. Or was it? No, it's still this year, I think. Metro Exodus was delayed into 2019.
That one's a bummer.
Yeah, I was actually looking forward to that because that was initially due this August, and then they kept pushing it back. Wolf Among Us Season 2, which I had forgotten existed. That was delayed in 2019.
That is a bummer too. I reviewed the first one.
Yep, you sure did.
That's not a surprise though. That game got announced as a reaction to bad press. So like I feel like that announcement was way ahead of when they wanted that game to be a thing anyway.
So here's the official note from Telltale. They said this delay comes as the result of a few fundamental changes here at Telltale since we first announced the game last summer. So for those who don't know, there were layoffs at Telltale. They were criticized for running on an old engine, which this thing is like a 10-year-old, 12-year-old engine. So there was a lot of criticism thrown their way. I don't doubt that they've kind of started to reevaluate what Wolf Among Us and what the rest of their games, because they don't have anything else coming out. Everything's been finished off. So this is the only game that they've announced, right? I don't think there's anything else coming. Oh, a Walking Dead, right? Isn't there a Walking Dead new season coming out or something?
Yeah, I think they have a Marvel project they're working on too.
Oh, there was that was Guardians of the Galaxy, and that came out.
I could have sworn that they were cooking on another Marvel.
No, that's Square Enix.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, which is done. They had Minecraft Story Mode Season 2, which is done. They had Batman the Enemy Within, which finished 2 months ago.
Yep. Game of Thrones was canceled. The Season 2 was canceled. Yeah,
Season 2, nothing on it. Wolf Among Us Season 2, 2019. And so they got The Walking Dead, the final season, which with a date that is to be announced.
Yeah, that'll be October as things roll in, I'm sure. And then Indivisible, which was a cool game that I saw at E3 last year from kind of this side-scrolling RPG type of thing from the Skull. I think it's Skullgirls from that developer. That was pretty cool, but that's been pushed back. So they are making a Switch version, I think. So that's why one of the reasons it's been pushed back, so they can polish that up. And then finally, Ubisoft's Skull and Bones was delayed to some point between April 1st, 2019 and March 30th, 2020.
The game is never coming out either.
Yeah. I think they showed it real quick at E3 last year to say, we're making a pirate game too, guys.
And they made it sound like that game was like close to being done. Like that they were just ready for beta, and then as soon as the beta went well, it was out time.
They just literally just grabbed screenshots and gifs from Assassin's Creed Black Flag and posted online. Anyways, but there are. What was that?
I was gonna say, that game's never coming out.
No.
And also, Days Gone, at least according to Wikipedia, has a tentative 2019 days.
You gotta be kidding me.
That's according to Wikipedia.
Oh,
Good
Lord
Lord.
Almighty. Good Lord. What comes out first? Days Gone or no? We should play that game. That's our E3 bingo is what comes out first. But there are games that are coming out and have been announced recently. This year, we have 2 Pokemon games coming out this year, one coming out next year. I'll talk about next year's, which is just the next core Pokemon RPG for Switch. Nintendo announced this last night at a special media event over in Japan. I shouldn't say Nintendo, the Pokemon company announced it. It is going to be in the vein of like XY and Sun, Moon, that kind of stuff. So that's coming for Switch next year. Before that, this year is Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. They're both coming to Switch. And they are, just to give a quick description, it's essentially Pokemon Go mixed with Pokemon Yellow. And it's motion control, so you can play everything with just one Joy-Con, one controller, or a Pokeball. Please do not throw the actual ball at your TV because you'll probably bust it. And or you can play co-op. So it's got it's got one-on-one battles and capturing of Pokemon using Pokeballs. That's basically it. But it's an RPG, so it should appeal to some more the casual folks. Any either you gentlemen interested in this?
I'd like to see the game.
Thumbs down.
I'd like to see the game running a little bit. The trailer, like all Nintendo trailers, it didn't actually like tell you much about how the game like sort of plays out. From the looks of it, it looks like you're battling people normally, like you'd be choosing move sets and stuff like that. But the capturing of Pokemon and stuff like that is tied to the Pokemon Go system. And I don't know. I thought Pokemon Go was good. I just ran out of reasons to care. Like I didn't have any like want or need to, run the gym locally for like my color or anything like that. I think this almost gives you like another reason to engage with Pokemon Go and gives you another outlet to do stuff with things you acquire from Pokemon Go. So I think that's cool.
You can send stuff back and forth from Go to the game.
Yeah, and I think it's a smart move to sort of if everything we know about the game holds true, that it's like set in the original like Kanto region of Pokemon, and it's kind of like a retelling of red, blue, and yellow. Like if that's the case, like I think that's cool. Like I'm down for that. Maybe not exactly the Pokemon experience I'm looking for on Switch, but like I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I'm. So my daughter was big into Pokemon Go when it first came out. We actually did Poke Walks, as a lot of people did with their kids. So it got a ton of folks back into Pokemon that had kind of disappeared, and it got a lot of younger kids into Pokemon. And my daughter isn't big into RPGs right now, so this may be a good kind of starter for her to get into Pokemon on the Switch, and then or Pokemon in general. And I think maybe next year when Pokemon proper comes out, it'll be something that she's ready for and accustomed to. But I'm okay with it. I think it's gonna sell like freaking crazy because it's gonna land it'll land in November like all the Pokemon games do, and it's different enough from a mainline Pokemon game where Pokemon folks are gonna think, well, maybe I will try to have all these Pokemon that I've caught on Go and can transfer them over. And I think it was smart to make it a retelling of Yellow instead of just putting Pokemon Go on the Switch, because at least that way you can play something story wise. So yeah, it's gonna sell like crazy, and I think it's the first of many of these types of Pokemon games that'll be coming out maybe every other year. I can see an alternating. You'll have Pikachu and Eevee this year, and if it does well enough, which it will, in 2 years you'll get whatever the next region's Pokemon, the next gen's Pokemon were, and so on. So
Johto?
Was it Johto? Yeah.
I don't remember.
It gives them the ability to rotate to do like remasters of old games without having to do the whole like 3DS like style remasters of like every other year pacing. Yeah, that would work out. And it's what you said, it's a great idea to get people that are only used to playing Pokemon through the Go franchise and getting them sort of used to battle and like hopefully team management and stuff like that. So once they get to, whatever it is, the full version of the Switch game, they have the understanding and the ability to play that type of RPG.
Their marketing is gonna be really kind of interesting because they can market it as like baby's first Pokemon, or they can market it to the folks that bought Pokemon Go and say something like, hey, if you like Pokemon Go, which is kind of easy and fun, you can actually play it, like make a full single player experience out of that if you pick up Let's Go for the Switch, because all your stuff transfers right over. So I think people may actually be intrigued by that a little bit.
So are these so these have trainer battles, yeah? But is the main crux of it, like, is it online? Like, are you walking around like in your game and they're like representations?
No. It's still the Pokemon RPG. It's just you don't capture Pokemon with battles. You just capture them with Pokeballs.
Yeah, so that's I never had a data plan on my phone, so I never did the Pokemon Go thing. Like, I went out with a friend once who would come down to hang out and capture Pokemon, but I was like secondhand playing it, like watching somebody play it. Basically, that didn't look like anything to me. It's like, all right,
back then it was nothing. I mean, 2 years ago when it first came out, it was literally just the simplest of concepts, but it worked. I think it was real popular because of that simplicity.
But like the whole capturing thing, even back then, was just like you just go and then you got a map and it shows you a picture of the Pokemon and you just go up to it and then you just throw a Pokeball at it and that's it.
And you try to land it, and it's actually can get pretty difficult. You waste Pokeballs left and right. I still my dumb ass still plays daily only because I want to get I have good streaks going on. You get like daily rewards if you play every day. You get like perks and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I heard they add like do these things for a week and it'll spawn a legendary on top.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Yep. So they've been doing a lot of that to get people interested in it again. I wonder how much that is going to transfer over to Let's Go, because I could see them doing daily rewards just to get you to play daily, but stuff like the Pokemon you capture in Go, a lot of the times you're capturing them by buying Pokeballs or really conserving your Pokeballs. Meanwhile, in the Switch version, and if you've played any Pokemon mainline RPG, you get Pokeballs left and right. Just it's not that difficult to purchase them with in-game money. So will it transfer back and forth? Will you capture all the Pokemon for like next to nothing in the game and then bring them into Pokemon Go? I'm not quite sure how that'll work, but it's a casual take on it, and I think it's almost like it's a year late, but Nintendo and Pokemon Company and whoever it was that makes the game, or Niantic are kind of doing another renewed summer push for Pokemon. So I could see them really, putting a lot of focus on there, especially with whatever happens at E3. Mm-hmm. I mean, they could make a big push of it at E3. So
do you think we're going to get to see the other Pokemon at all at E3?
No, I don't think so. They don't want to. I don't think you want to show that because you can.
No, there's no need to confuse people.
Mm-hmm. You don't want to oversaturate either. You don't want to show the game that has the Pokemon, like fighting down a Pokemon before you capture. You don't want to show that one with all new story and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If it's like a new story or anything like that, you just don't want people to be I want that one. I don't want this one.
Yeah, I will say that if it had just been Pikachu as your like go-to follow you around character, I probably would have passed on this one, but that Eevee version, man.
I'm so I pre-ordered Pikachu, but maybe I'll get the Eevee.
Get out of town. He's the worst Pokemon.
So maybe I'll get the Eevee version. All right.
You can make an electric Eevee. You can't make an Eevee Pikachu.
You can't make a fire-breathing Pikachu.
Yeah.
You can make a surfing Pikachu.
You can make a surfing Pikachu.
Yeah, but you can make a surfing Eevee also.
I guess that's true.
Oh god, Eevee can transform into like 5 different
Pikachu
Pokemon.
Sucks. If you're gonna compare them head to head, Pikachu sucks every time.
That's true. It is true because you can get the Flareon and the Vaporeon pretty easily.
And what about the fact that if you believe that the anime is canon, Pikachu is the only character in the entire roster of Pokemon that can use Tail Whip to do damage? Think about that. Because Tail Whip in the games
If the anime is canon, also, Eevee is the only Pokemon that dies in that series.
No, something else does, doesn't it?
No, Gary Barry's Pikachu, or Gary Barry's Eevee. That for sure happens. That's in the anime, or that's in the manga.
That's in the manga. That the only canon that I will even consider is Detective Pikachu when it comes out. There was another Pokemon game announced, and it's available now. It's another free to start Pokemon game. There are a bunch of those on the 3DS, and there's a few on mobile platforms. But it's called Pokemon Quest, and it's essentially a weird hybrid, a base camp building game / very light and easy loot quest type of game.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Hey, do yourself a favor. Don't download it.
Why?
Just don't. It's bad. It's not good. It's bad. It's probably the quickest Nintendo free to start game that has encouraged you to spend. Now, it didn't encourage me to spend money, but it basically told me I needed to spend money if I wanted to stop being bad. Yeah, I don't know. It's another Nintendo mobile game where you're going to download it. You're going to think it's cool for about 3 to 5 hours. And then you're never going to touch it again. And they may have already tricked you to spend $5 at that point. Just don't do it. Do yourself go play Miitomo. Guess what? You can't because they pulled the servers offline.
There's online me making though.
How's that shirt doing for you that you spent money on? Who knows? Because no one can see it anymore. Don't buy into Nintendo's online nonsense. If you want a Nintendo mobile game that still gets updated regularly and is still fun, download Super Mario Run.
Yeah, that's still a great game.
No, I'm not gonna do that. I don't think I will do that. Thanks.
You don't have to. I don't even own it. I'm just saying, if you're really looking to give Mario his money on mobile, give it to the man himself on the only game that you buy once and then you never have to buy again.
$9.99 or sometimes on sale for $4.99. I picked that one up. I still play that. Not nearly regularly, maybe once or twice a month. I'll pop it open and try a couple things. But
they do fun courses with like Luigi and Princess Peach and stuff like that, right?
They're not with them. It's just they're selectable characters. You can pick one of like 5 or 4 different characters.
See, perfect. Why choose between 151 Pokemon when you could change through 4 maybe important Nintendo characters?
Toadette for life. I will say that it's a quick cash grab, and it certainly makes... Ooh, my phone just fell over. I don't even know how I was standing on its end. It makes for a very interesting E3 with Nintendo because now they have a big Pokemon game that they're showcasing with Pokemon Let's Go, and they have Smash Brothers. So they already have 2 big games, and we know they're going to be showcasing at least one more thing at E3 for this year. I mean, they've talked about Fire Emblem supposedly coming out this year. We haven't heard anything about that. There's Bayonetta 3 may or may not make it this year. Probably not now. Metroid Prime 4 won't make it this year. But maybe Pikmin 4 or Animal Crossing, those are still in the works. This Star Fox game is supposedly coming out maybe this year or announced for early next year. So there's a lot of stuff that Nintendo...
Where are we at on Hyrule Warriors 2?
Hyrule... Did you like the first Hyrule Warriors?
No.
No?
No, I'm not a fan of
the Muso type games. Okay.
I've heard the Switch version of Hyrule Warriors has been doing well though.
Yeah, I'm surprised. That also probably outsold the Wii U version, which wouldn't be difficult.
No, I think
everything on Switch is outselling the Wii U version.
I think it's too early to see any sequels to that.
They just released Fire Emblem Warriors anyways back in October.
Yeah. What scares me a lot about Nintendo and a lot of this E3 so far is it seems like in the past that if you're going to get your announcements done before E3, you announce like I don't want to call it the garbage, but you announce the garbage, right? You kind of show like this is the stuff that like we're not going to drag down our conference with. No one's going to pay attention to anywhere. Here's the garbage. This is the exciting stuff. But I feel like we've chewed through things that like I would consider quote exciting stuff. Bethesda scares me that we've already seen the Fallout 76 thing. We've already seen transition. We've already seen Rage. We've already seen that. Like, we've already seen Pokemon. We already know that Smash Brothers is coming and stuff like that. It's like, if this is considered the garbage, what's the good stuff going to be? And are we seeing the good stuff now so it gets out of the way and we're going to get nothing but garbage when E3 actually rolls around?
I don't know. I'm sorry, my damn phone. Maybe, yeah, are we
Siri, order toilet paper.
Yeah. My headphones are on, dumbass. Onto the Fallout. So Bethesda announces Fallout today, which with a teaser, and all we know is it's Fallout 76, and it seems to take place before the Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. But
yeah, by like 170 years.
No. Is it? I thought it was like 20 years before.
No, it's set 25 years after the bombs fall.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Got it.
So, well, you guys want the hot scoops on this?
Yeah, go ahead.
So,
scoop them up. Explain this one.
Lore-wise, Vault 76 was one of the control vaults, which means it was one of the vaults that was actually designed to do what they told everybody the vaults were meant to do. So, the idea behind the vaults is that after the bombs fall, the survivors would be sealed in the vaults for a set amount of time, and then the vaults would open up so they could basically fix the world. So this vault opens up 20 to 25 years after the bombs fall. This game is an online crafting survival Rust type game, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea that on any given server, players would be building their bases and harvesting materials and getting better stuff and trading with each other and all that stuff makes total sense given what this vault was intended to do. So everybody's like, oh, it's not a core Fallout. Nobody's going to play it. It's like, well, I mean, lore-wise, this totally works.
It sounds like the most core Fallout of all Fallout.
Seriously, right. It's the one that actually, yeah. Something didn't go wrong. They actually went out on their reclamation day or whatever that they're calling it.
Yeah.
So I'm super interested in trying to understand more about this game. But since they already released information on Rage 2 and this, I mean, they're going to be showing more of this at E3, but I would not be surprised if one little thing more pops out before then. But who knows? What else do they have at E3? Right? Starfield is the big one that everyone's thinking that they're gonna showcase, but maybe it's something completely different. We don't know, and that's kind of intriguing with what Bethesda is doing. They're killing it with PR right now because every single thing that leaks, they spin it around and make it into something that's pretty awesome. Was it Rage 2 was last week or the week before? It was the week before.
Week before.
Yeah, they did magnificent with that. Nobody cared about Rage until that game was leaked, and even when it was leaked, people thought that was dumb. And then Bethesda took their PR spin to it and turned it into something that was
I think I said it last week, but whoever was in charge of that PR maneuver for Bethesda deserves like a bonus or a raise or something.
Yep. Totally made people interested in that whole series all over again. So, and that's made by Avalanche Studios, who apparently was just purchased today
by Bethesda.
Oh, by Bethesda.
No, not by Bethesda. No. By a third party, a Nordic. I think it's called Nordic Films. And they're still going to be working on the game, but they won't buy another company. Anyway, so Fallout 76, we'll find out more at E3, but there's going to be a lot of things popping in our ear holes and eye holes at E3 that I have no freaking idea now. What you're saying, Sam, are we going to see a lot of junk, or are a lot of these games getting announced? A lot of these things getting announced ahead of time because there's bigger stuff from other developers, right? Microsoft, we don't know a single thing about Microsoft. They're probably the only ones that haven't released any information, and neither has Square Enix, but everybody else is kind of, Ubisoft, I guess, too. But everybody else has kind of tipped their hands, so it's going to be, I wonder if a lot of that stuff is what people are trying to figure out. I don't know. Do you think Nintendo will have their Metroid Prime HD release this year and just keep adding on to stuff for everybody to buy?
They're going to have the equivalent of the whatever that Metroid Prime Blitzball announcement was, probably. I'm always so worried for that. It's, everybody's supposed to be excited, and then just this giant stinker just shows up when everyone's
It's the post 5 coffee stinker that shows up and just drops a dookie in everybody's plans. But Nintendo's done a good job so far of Nintendo and Bethesda done good jobs of getting people interested in the products. And I think Bethesda knows what they're doing with this Fallout stuff and why they're showcasing it now ahead of time. Because I think it's a controlled leak for Fallout in terms of what information is getting out. Because when they do show it at E3, people will say, "Oh wait, that actually looks really fun." And
do you think the inside sources that talked to Schreier over Kotaku were intentional?
Yes,
sources?
I think it was intentional. I think at this point Bethesda knows that they're using leaks to their advantage, and they saw that with Rage, and even last year with the Mario plus Rabbids leak, which played this is almost Fallout 76 is almost like a Mario plus Rabbids leak in a weird way, where people thought it was just a dumb idea, and then the game comes out, it looks wonderful, and everybody's all into it. So, but Fallout 76 is only coming to PC, PS4, and Xbox One, which means it's not a single player game. It's going to be, more online type of stuff. I don't think it's even the same id tech engine, whatever that is. So, I'm very curious to see how they take this. So lots of stuff's happening, lots of games being announced, and we're gonna have a lot more in the lead up to E3 here. I supposedly there's a couple more big games. This is all just hearsay, but a couple more big games are going to be announced prior to E3 by publishers. I know Anthem just posted their tweet like earlier today to get in on the whole pre-E3 buzz. Yeah. To get on the whole pre-E3 buzz, so we'll probably see something from them.
You want to talk about a game that I could not, from EA, that I could not give less of a shit about? Anthem.
Yeah. Hey, I have a copy of Anthem right here, guys. It's called Destiny 2. And look at it, it's still in the wrapping, and I got it for $7 4 months after it released.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Nothing I've seen about Anthem speaks to me at all. And like I never played Destiny 1, right? And like Destiny 2 just hit me just right enough that I at least played Destiny 2 up until the first expansion or whatever. Like I did the raid.
Sure.
I played up to that point. I did the raid. I beat the raid. And then I never played it again. And that was fine for me. Like I wasn't overwhelmed by the game or anything like that. But it was fine. It played very well. I'm looking at Anthem and it's just like,
no. Yeah.
Hey, look at this. You guys remember Star Wars Battlefront 2 and what they did with that game?
Oh boy. And right now, this is what's become a BioWare. I will say this. There's been Dragon Age 4 rumors that I swear I hope to God that they're true. Because
that would be nice. I don't think it's going to happen.
I would love for them to announce that. If they did announce it, it would be at the Xbox conference, which is going to be 2 hours long. It's their longest conference in a few years. So it's going to be. I'm curious to see what.
I think.
So excited.
If Dragon Age 4 or any sort of Dragon Age thing shows up, it's a fucking logo, and it's not even like a
that could be it. Yep.
Because there's no way anything Dragon Age comes out before Anthem, and if Anthem fails, there's no way anything Dragon Age comes out. Because I think if Anthem fails, that's the end of that studio.
Oh yeah, I kind of agree with you.
If Anthem fails, I think
it's on EA. If Anthem fails, it's on EA.
Yeah, but when has it ever been on EA? You know what I mean? Like if Anthem fails, that's their excuse to kill BioWare. Like that's the trajectory that BioWare's on right now. Like EA is a known studio killer after like 2.5 failures or something like that. BioWare's not got a good track record, and I know. So if Anthem fails, then bye BioWare.
Yeah, I can't.
It's been like what 2 years since they killed Visceral.
Yep.
They're hungry for it. You can feel it. You can taste the bloodlust. They're ready to kill. Why won't anybody stop them?
They're on a murdering spree. I will say one thing, since basically the news is we're kind of done with the news. I'm going to be picking up this Bloodstained retro game for the Switch because it looks kind of fun. Did you guys see that announcement last week? I think it was Bloodstained Origins or whatever it was called.
Yeah, that's supposed to be like if that Bloodstained series had like an old Castlevania type game, right?
All right, it's basically Castlevania 3.
I think I was looking at this earlier. I was like, what is this? This looks like something.
Yeah. So I'll be picking. I think I'm going to pick that up tonight and give that a shot. But other than that, stay tuned because there's going to be a lot more stuff to talk about over the next 2 weeks in the lead up to 2 weeks to E3. When we speak next week, it'll be the final episode before E3, and Sam, you and I will have to do an E3 episode as well. So
Yes.
when we're there on the show floor, we'll get a few folks to
Yes, next Wednesday I will be in the air during this time.
We'll figure it out. We may do
Tuesday.
Tuesday. We'll figure something out.
When is E3? E3 is what? Starts the 12th?
It starts actually that Saturday with EA. So we're going to get
it starts on the 9th?
Starts on the 9th.
Week 3 starts on the 9th.
It's horrible. So it's the 9th, the 10th, which is Sunday. You get Microsoft and Bethesda and Devolver. And then Monday you have the PC gaming show, which I don't know. They always say there's an announcement, but there's never anything important. Ubisoft, Square Enix, and Sony. And then you got Nintendo at 9 a.m. or whatever, 10 a.m. on that Tuesday. And then that's it. You don't really even need to go to the show because all the announcements now happen before the show.
Don't say that. This is the first year I get to go to the show, and you're like,
you'll actually will love it.
Am I right? It's a waste of time.
Yeah, you'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it. Anyways, with that said, we're gonna let you guys go. I am Dolly Domofsky. You can find me at Dolly Domofsky. You can find SideQuesting at SideQuesting, SideQuesting.com, on Twitch, on Spotify, over at MySpace, Friendster, Napster, you name it, we're there. Sam, where can we find you and your fantastic tweets?
I am
from 10 years ago.
And have always been. No, that's a lie. I've changed. I've had to have changed my Twitter screen name a couple of times. Yeah. And I am at SamDI79 on Twitter. Let's see here. What was my most recent tweet? Well, I retweeted that we were going live with the show. So if you didn't see that tweet, sorry. I did it. Here we are. Before that was stolen content that I found on Reddit that looked like a screenshot from Blair Witch Project, but as done by cats. It looks like a very scared cat, and there's somebody coming for him. Please help him. Although this tweet is less relevant now, and I'm pretty sure we talked about it on the last show I was on, but the new Xbox controller is great, and Able Gamers charity is fantastic, and they're great that they helped design that controller, and you should help that company and that controller go out through the masses. So look into that and see how you can help doing that.
That was again, I forgot to mention that news, but that's a fantastic controller, and it's going to help a lot of people. It's all built on accessibility. And just go on the site, take a look at it. Us explaining it doesn't do justice. It's a fantastically worthy cause, and get more people to be able to game. So that's always a good thing. And finally, Aaron, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Scratty Bones. You can find me on Twitch at the same. You can find me pretty much anywhere under that.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds right. And you can find, I think the latest thing I wrote was that early impressions of Worlds Adrift from last week. You can find that at SideQuesting.
At sidequesting.com. Very good, my friends. I will let you go. Thank everybody. We'll talk to you on the next SideQuest. Bye-bye.